Good morning, everyone. We've got a few people here in the court. It's 8:07. I'll let this run for just a moment. First day back from Christmas time off, which was very nice. And I got a couple nice things this morning. Got a very clever thing from Chad in Florida. Also a nice thing from the people in watching Florida, and a nice card and note from Melanie in Maine. So thank you all for that, and everybody who sent cards before Christmas. But now it's time to get back to work. We've got court today and tomorrow. Today we've got just the morning. The magistrate isn't here. I may do a couple of things this afternoon for the magistrate. And then tomorrow we're very busy. Then we break again for the holiday. So I'll be here only 2 days this week, which was a nice day yesterday to have the day off. It was actually very mild here in Michigan. It was like 55 degrees on Christmas Day. People were jet skiing on the lake in Santa Claus outfits, or Santa Claus was. Also some kayakers out there. Good morning, Jordan.
That's it right here.
That's fine, right over there.
Could you take care of it, officer? Thank you, appreciate it.
I think crude sup means cruise ship. All right, we will restart here in just a moment as soon as the public defender gets here. Again, thank you all for good wishes all this year. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
8:15 is awfully early to be here on the first day after vacation, but Mr. Miller is not here yet, so we'll see what transpires. I'll just put you in the waiting room and let you take care of your morning business, and I'll bring you in if he shows up, and if he doesn't, I'll bring you in and we'll discuss it.
I am here on WIC, right?
Wick? Oh, yes, Scott Wick. Wiki. I thought it was Gregory Miller.
I don't believe I have another one on my
No,
calendar.
you have Omni Credit and Scott Wick, or Wiki. His here. Mr. Wiki, would you come forward? Is it Wiki or Wick? That's what I thought. All right, so we'll get with it. We're a little early. We have criminal arraignments today, and we also have a bench warrant arraignment on a civil matter. This is Omni Credit Union versus Scott Wiki. Mr. Wiki was sued for a large amount of money, $24,164.06. The plaintiff did a subpoena to summon Mr. Wiki to come to court to discuss his ability to pay on this debt, and he didn't show up. I think twice. Then he showed up on December 15th, I think, and posted bond, although someone else posted the bond, Donna Bontrager. Who is that person?
That's my mom.
Normally, the bond is assigned to the debt. It would go to Omni Credit Union. And do I have her permission to apply that bond money to the debt?
You'd probably say no on that.
All right, then maybe we'll put you back in jail. We'll see where we go with this. But I see that, thanks. All right, Mr. Wiki, we're gonna address that issue, but first, I want you to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, I do.
All right, what happened? You got sued on a substantial debt, just within the limits of district court. In an attempt to collect on the debt, they subpoenaed you to have you come to court to discuss your ability to pay on the debt. That's a court order. It's not a birthday party invitation. It compels you to come. You didn't come. We did a hearing to show cause why you didn't come, and you didn't come to that either. So you had to post $1,000 bond. That bond is supposed to go toward the debt. So we'll may have to determine what we're going to do with that. But you're under oath, and if you'd showed up, we would have had the discovery hearing. We wouldn't have gone through all this rigmarole. Attorney Stacy Salisbury represents Omni Credit Union on this debt. I'm going to have the court officer take you into the conference room, and I'm going to put you in a breakout room where you can discuss it with Ms. Salisbury.
Okay.
So go ahead and follow the court officer. You are under oath. It looks like you do have some documents with you, so that's helpful. All right, Ms. Salisbury, can you hear me?
I can, thank you.
All right, he's in the Zoom room. He is under oath. You can discuss it with him. We're gonna have to figure out what to do with that $1,000 bond because it's cash only, and it really doesn't matter who posts the cash. So we'll have to address that at some point, but I'll open the rooms and you can question him. If you need my services, I'll be here all morning.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Wiki, just hit the button that says join.
Join.
See, it says join the breakout room.
Oh, I see. With the mouse, yeah.
Yep. Good morning, Matea.
Good morning.
We have two people. We're going to need the services of an interpreter. Do we have Vivian lined up for this morning? If not, hopefully Priscilla is here. We'll see. But we can start with Scott Leroy Powers. Would you come up to the podium, please?
Yeah.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Like I said, 8:15 is pretty early to be here the first day after a vacation.
Right.
This is file number 232326ST. People versus Leroy Bennett Powers Jr. And you've got a ticket for driving without a valid license in Mendon. I don't see a lot of tickets for Mendon, and a registration plate violation. This was written not under Mendon ordinance, but state statute. So let's talk about that. Driving without a valid operator's license is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail, a fine of up to $100. It is probably our most common ticket. They actually wrote this as no ops ever acquired, which is a little different. It's 90 days and or $500. And then improper registration, that's a civil infraction. It carries a $120 fine. I'm confident that Mr. Marvin, the county prosecutor, would dismiss the civil infraction, which would save you $120.
All right.
Yes?
Yeah.
If you pled to driving without a valid operator's license. So let's take a look at your record. Oops. It's just expired. You may have had a permit. It doesn't have any baggage on it. Are you doing anything to get your license?
Yeah, I was, but then I have to give me a house, you know, a place to live, because I'm living with my girlfriend's mom right now.
All right. Well, sometimes they will adjourn these if you want to go to the Secretary of State and start the process to get your license.
All
We
right.
can try that. Or you can just plead to the no ops and dismiss the other charge. The problem is that will go on your driving record.
Right.
And so have you ever had a license?
No, I haven't had a license. I just had permits.
Okay. At one point you lived on South Main Street in Three Rivers. Now you live in Sturgis?
Yeah, with my girlfriend's mom right now.
Okay. Are you working someplace?
Yeah, in Portage. It's called Kenco Logistics.
How do you get back and forth?
With the car, I was driving the car.
All right. I think what you should do is get your driver's license.
Right.
So Mr. Marvin, if he were here, he would agree to adjourn this into maybe February to see if you can start the process to at least get a permit. If you get this no ops on your license, it's going to prohibit you from getting a license. Really, what we want people to do is get a license.
Right.
You need a license. You live in Sturgis and you work in Portage. Now, some people can't get a license because they don't have lawful residency status or they have 3 drunk driving convictions. You just don't have one.
Yeah.
How old are you?
24.
Yeah, it's time for you to get a license.
Right.
So are you willing to have me adjourn this
Yeah.
for you to go to
Yes, sir.
SOS?
Yeah.
It's right in Sturgis. Even if you come back, have started the process, they will give you some consideration.
Okay.
All right. Who brought you here today?
My girlfriend did. She did with her mom's car.
All right. I'm going to give you until February 13th. Whose car was this?
My girlfriend's car.
Well, is the registration straightened out on it?
Yeah, it's in her name.
I'm going to give you a handwritten notice in bad handwriting. Thank you, Priscilla. I was afraid maybe you were off today.
Oh, no. I'm here.
Let's go with Wednesday, February. That won't work. Tuesday, February 13th. You need to do this anyway. This is going to compel you to do it. I want you to contact the Secretary of State in Sturgis, make an appointment to get your license. We'll have a pretrial with the county prosecutor on February 13th. And he'll at least come back with a permit, in which case he could cut you some consideration, which would save your ability to get your license.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, you're good to go.
All good.
Yeah, all good.
You have a good one there.
All right, we're working on it. Yeah, I see him back there. We'll do him and then we'll do Priscilla's. Mr. Schuler, would you come up to the podium?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is file number 232071 SM, Brady Allen Schuler. Mr. Schuler, you had a bad day back in August 22nd. They alleged a bunch of stuff. Let me get it up here. That you maliciously destroyed a iPhone that belonged to Taylor Persing worth more than $200. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $2,000. Also alleged that you damaged a building at Laura Court, which belonged to Village Manor Apartments, worth more than 200 but less than 1,000, which is also a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $2,000. Count 3, they allege that you interfered with a crime report, which is usually has to do with taking a telephone away from somebody. That's up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000, and it'd be consecutive to any other sentence. And domestic violence, which is probably what started the whole thing, on Taylor Persing, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. That's a lot. Are you off probation or parole? You're
Yes.
not on. You're
Not on
paper
nothing,
name?
Your Honor.
Are you working somewhere now?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Where's that?
Basin Material Handling in Sturgis, Michigan.
Good. Now, this is a bit odd. This happened in August. It didn't get authorized until October. And you didn't get arrested until December 15th.
Correct.
How'd you come to get arrested?
I actually had gotten into an accident and they had noticed my warrants and picked me up then.
Did you even know there was these warrants were out?
Yes, I did. I actually had a police officer contacting me, seeing when I would turn myself in. And I kind of told him right now with Christmas coming up and everything, I didn't have the money to bond out because he was trying to help me get on the phone with a bail's bondman to set it up, but I couldn't find out how much my bond was. So with all due respect, I told that officer, I need more time to get bond money. And it just happened to go that I just kept working.
How long were you in jail before you bonded out?
Just a day. I believe overnight, yeah.
Well, I think the wisest thing is to appoint an attorney for you and set this for a pretrial.
Your Honor, I was just wondering if you did get all the papers that Taylor Persing sent in, the receipts for the actual damages to the door that I paid Village Manor, as well as I have a handwritten letter that I wrote Village Manor, an apology letter, and then I have her compensation, her stuff to the court.
Let me see that. We'll make sure the prosecutor gets
I wanted to make
that.
sure that was all on file.
Are these the originals or these?
No, she sent in the originals. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh, yeah, the prosecutor got this.
Okay, that's all I wanted to make sure.
But I will, do you have copies?
I have all that. If you need to keep that, you go ahead and
All
keep
right.
that.
I'm gonna appoint an attorney. Set attorney pretrial for February 2nd. Are you missing work right now?
Yes, actually, today is the day I was supposed to go back. I had to call early this morning and tell them I was
All
gonna
right,
be
when you
here.
get back to work, I want you to go out to the counter. We'll give you an attorney. I want you to call them and make an appointment.
Can I have something, piece of paper for work?
Yeah, they'll give you that too.
Thank you so much.
I need the worksheet. What does base and materials do?
We build racks, they're called, for car parts mufflers, car doors, you name it, we make the racks to ship them for Tesla, Hyundai, Ford, all of them.
All right, well, I don't know what all this was about. Like I said, it probably wasn't a very good day, but it took all the way from then till now. I'm gonna have the court officer take you out there. You can get a slip for work and the attorney's name and number regarding your court-appointed attorney and the pretrial on February 2nd.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. You have a good day.
Okay, goodbye. All right, we have two gentlemen here. We're going to need the assistance of an interpreter. So, Ms. Walton, would you please come up? Angel Jimenez Gomez. Do you have his rights or rights?
Yes, yeah.
¿Tiene
Spanish
identificación de derechos? ¿Español?
Buenos días. Es usted Angel Jimenez Gomez?
Sí,
This is Miss Walton. She works for the court,
Yo soy la señora Walton, yo trabajo por la corte
and she's going to interpret for us.
y ella va a interpretar con nosotros.
Ms. Walton, would you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm to the best of your ability you will interpret these matters from Spanish into English and English into Spanish.
I swear.
Senor Jimenez Gomez, you got a ticket
Señor Jiménez Gómez, usted recibe una multa
for having open alcohol in a moving motor vehicle.
por tener una botella de alcohol abierta en un vehículo que está moviéndose.
That is a misdemeanor,
Ese es un cargo menor,
but it's a pretty small one.
pero es un cargo menor.
This is written under Sturgis ordinance.
Pero la multa está escribida por la ordenancia de Sturgis.
It is punishable by up to 90 days in jail.
Tiene un penal máximo de 93 días de cárcel.
Now let me look at what the fine is. I think it's $500.
La multa es hasta $500.
The normal fine for this is $75
Normalmente la multa es $75,
plus $125 of state costs.
más 125 de los costos del estado.
They say that this happened on December 9th in the city of Sturgis.
Dice la multa que pasó 9 de diciembre en la ciudad de Sturgis. Yes.
How do you plead to that charge?
¿Cómo se declara ese cargo? Guilty.
Anyone threaten you to get you to plead to that?
¿Alguien lo amenazó para que se declarara eso?
no,
No.
Or promise you anything?
¿O le prometió algo?
no.
No.
It says here on the ticket, there was an accident
Dice aquí en la multa que había fue un accidente
and that you left the scene of the accident
y que usted se fue del accidente.
and that you had
Yes.
open bottles of Modelo in the back seat.
Y que tenía botellas de modelo abiertas en el asiento de atrás.
Sí.
Yes.
It also says you had a blood alcohol of 173
También dice que usted tenía el alcohol en su sangre de 173
and struggled with the officers.
y estaba batallando con los oficiales.
That's not good.
Eso no está bien.
How old are you?
¿Cuántos años tiene?
Tengo 22.
I'm 22 years old.
What do you do, sir?
¿Qué hace de trabajo?
Ahorita pues, la situación está muy difícil, ahorita no tengo, más trabajo que digamos.
The situation is kind of difficult at the moment. I don't have much work.
Okay. Well, the fine is $100.
La fianza es de $100.
There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee.
Hay una otra fianza de $75
And a $50 state minimum fee.
y un mínimo del estado de $50.
Which is $225.
Que en total es $225.
Do you have the ability to pay that or do you need some time?
¿Puede pagarlo hoy o necesita tiempo de pagarlo?
Necesito tiempo.
I need time.
All right, I'm going to give you 30 days.
Le vamos a dar 30
I'll
días
give
para
you to
pagarlo.
February 2nd.
Hasta el 2 de febrero para pagarlo.
This was not good,
Eso no fue muy bien.
but I can't tell who was driving.
Pero yo no puedo ver quién estaba manejando.
I don't think the police could either.
Yo no creo que la policía tampoco sabía.
Here's an envelope.
Aquí está un sobre.
You can mail in a certified check or money order.
Puedes mandar un cheque certificado o un money order.
You can pay it by credit card,
Lo puedes pagar con carta de crédito.
or you can bring in good old fashioned green money.
O puedes traer dinero efectivo aquí.
But I want you to do that by February the 2nd.
Pero quiero que lo pagues para antes del 2 de febrero.
Sí.
Yes.
All right, you can have a seat.
Ok, puede tomar asiento, señor.
Marco Anthony Juarez Reyes. Buenos dias. Es usted Marco Anthony Juarez Reyes?
Yes.
You got the same ticket as your friend,
Usted recibió la misma multa que su amigo.
possession of open intoxicants in a motor vehicle.
Tiene posesión de botellas abiertas en un carro que se está moviendo.
And you also got charged with being a minor in possession of alcohol.
Y también le dieron una multa de ser una persona de edad menor con alcohol.
Both of those are misdemeanors.
Esos dos cargos son cargos menores.
Let me look at this ticket. I think the minor in possession is a civil infraction.
Creo que el cargo de ser menor de edad con posesión de alcohol es una infracción civil.
shows a misdemeanor.
Ok, parece que es un cargo menor.
These are ordinance cases under Sturgis ordinance.
Estos cargos son de ordencias bajo la ciudad de Sturgis.
Mr. Tim George is the attorney for the city of Sturgis, and he is here with us this
El
morning.
licenciado Tim George es el licenciado de la ciudad de Sturgis y está aquí con nosotros esta mañana.
Mr. George, I'm assuming you would dismiss one of these for a plea to the other.
Licenciado George, yo creo que usted va a desmedir uno de los cargos por si se declara culpable por uno.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Eso es correcto, señor Honor.
We dismissed the MIP.
Vamos a quitar el cargo de posesión de un menor.
That means if you pled guilty to this,
Eso significa que si usted se declara culpable de este cargo,
you would plead guilty to the same charge as your friend,
usted se declararía culpable al mismo cargo que se declaró su amigo.
having
Yes.
open alcohol
Tienen
in a car.
alcohol abierto en un carro.
Modelo in the cup holders.
Parece que tenía modelos en los, donde se ponen los vasos.
And your blood alcohol was 0.153.
Y el alcohol en su sistema era 153.
Are you willing to plead to having open alcohol in a motor vehicle?
¿Usted está dispuesto a declararse culpable de tener alcohol abierto en un vehículo? Yes.
Other than what I told you, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this?
Además de lo que le acabo de decir, ¿alguien me prometió para declararse culpable? ¿Alguien me prometió algo?
No.
No.
Mr. George, am I correct? They couldn't figure out who was driving, so they each just got an open intox ticket?
Licenciado George, ¿estoy correcto? Los oficiales no podían saber quién estaba manejando, solo los dos recibieron el cargo de tener botellas abiertas.
There's a third individual that's been charged with the driving offenses.
Hay
Okay.
una tercera persona que tiene el cargo de manejar bajo la influencia.
How old are you, sir?
¿Cuántos años tiene, señor? I'm 18.
All right, well, you're too young to be out riding around drunk in the car.
Está muy joven para andar tomando y manejando. Yes.
And you guys ran because you're probably afraid of being arrested.
Y ustedes corrieron porque yo creo que tenían miedo de ser arrestados. ¿Puede hablar a voz alta?
Luego chocamos y luego ya no sabemos dónde estoy.
It's because there was an accident and then we didn't know where we were at.
Well, I'm glad you weren't hurt or killed.
Me alegro que no se lastimaron o se mataron. Yes.
Lord knows we had enough of those last year.
Dios sabe que teníamos muchos de esos tipos de casos el año pasado. Yes.
Your fine is the same as your co-defendant,
La multa para ustedes es la misma multa de su amigo. Yes.
$100
$100
and $125 of costs
y 125 de costos.
due by February 2nd.
Se debe para el 2 de febrero.
I'm serious. This could have been a lot worse than it was.
Estoy seriamente, esto podía ser peor de lo que es.
I'm glad you weren't hurt.
Me alegro que no se lastimaron.
You're free to go.
Está listo y terminado, si nomás tiene la multa. I put the money in there in the envelope.
Yes,
Sí.
and bring it to the court.
Y lo traiga a la corte. What's the total?
$225.
$225.
It's on the inside of the flap.
Y aquí le dice adentro del sobre. 225, que es el 2 de febrero. Sí, gracias. Está listo.
All right, I think that's all we need from your morning, this morning, Priscilla.
Thanks,
Thank you
Judge.
for your help.
You're welcome.
We have some late arrivals to the party, but let's finish our civil matter. Mr. Wiki, would you come forward? Miss Salisbury, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Your Honor.
Mr. Wiki, would you come back up to the podium? Were you able to conduct a discovery hearing with him?
Yes, I was, Your Honor. He has complied with my discovery request. He will be making arrangements to provide me with copies of those documents that he brought with him today. He did make me aware that his mother, who had posted that bond, is at the courthouse waiting outside, I believe.
Would you go get her, please?
Yeah.
Which case are you guys here on?
I'm name arrived.
What's your name?
I'm Steve Meister.
All right, well, you're late, but you're here, so come on up to the podium if you would.
Thanks.
Apologize for that. We got caught by a train up there in Vicksburg.
Well, you're here now, so we'll make it work. This is file number 231978OT. When we get done with the translator, I have to shift my rhythm. Goes a lot faster when we just do it in English. You got a ticket for driving with a suspended license in the city of Sturgis on October 9th. Let's take a look at that. At 10 o'clock in the evening on Chicago and Centerville Road, you got stopped for driving suspended. Driver was stopped for having warrants. Driver was not current, had a revoked license. And you're revoked. What were the other warrants for?
They weren't mine. That was my friend's vehicle.
Okay. Well, good. Then, but you didn't have a, well, let me tell you what this is. Driving suspended is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Carries 2 points on your driving record and requires that your license be suspended. I guess that's it. Mr. George, there's a lot of baggage on his driving record. Is there any plea offer?
We would do a no valid operator's license.
Well, that's quite a sweet offer. Because you got the exact same ticket a year ago in June here. And then here you are again. And then you got another one in Kalamazoo in 2022. No valid operator's license is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100 plus costs. Do you understand the charge?
Yes.
Are you willing to plead to that lesser charge?
Yeah,
Anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to that
no, sir.
or threaten you?
Oh,
Well, the good news is you paid the last one in June by credit card. Where were you going?
oh, this last time?
Yeah,
I was just trying to, I was just getting myself out of town. I was having some problems in town with
well,
some
where are you
people,
from?
and I just wanted to get out of town, you know, and I was going to get, I had a reservation for a hotel room down in Sturgis.
All right, so you came from Kalamazoo to Sturgis?
Yeah,
Do you have a connection in Sturgis?
no, I just get out of town, you know, and for some reason I felt, I was just going to get a hotel room down in Sturgis.
What hotel?
Days Inn or something. I think it was Days Inn. I never made it there though.
Well, let's just say I'm not buying that whole story, but you were driving without a valid license, so I guess we know that much.
Well, I was having some problems up in Kalamazoo with some people, and just arguing and fighting stuff, and I just wanted to get myself out of town. That's the truth of it. I used to live in Three Rivers. I used to go into Sturgis to visit a young lady there, and
All right, so you had a friend that lived in Sturgis?
I used to.
All right, well, that's a long way to go from Kalamazoo to there. You could have gone to Three Rivers, I guess, but anyway, the matter is you got the same ticket down here in June. And you paid the fine. I'd fine you more than this. So they pulled the car over because they thought you had warrants.
I guess they must have ran the plate or something, and
Whose car?
I didn't know the guy had warrants.
Was he in the car with you?
No, I was just by myself. But I wish he would have at least said something about that. I wouldn't have borrowed his car, you know.
This whole thing is a little bit squeaky. But you're here, you didn't show up and then you're late and you always, but you're here and I can't really do more than $100 fine, although I probably would. I gotta put you in jail for this.
I apologize about not showing up the last time.
Yeah, I didn't know what the deal was. I think I even tried.
I just had no ride. I tried to find a ride and I could not find one.
Well, you got a buddy that brought you here this.
I had one lined up the last time, to tell you the truth, and he bailed on me at the last minute. He just never showed up to pick me up.
All right.
So then I called. That's why I called in and explained myself.
Which is why we didn't do a bench warrant. The fine is $100. There's $125 of cost. You know, $225 by February 2nd. Stop driving, at least stop driving down here. Stay in Kalamazoo County if you're gonna drive and let them deal with this. You got caught twice in 6 months down here. And you've got a lot of baggage on your license and this doesn't help.
Yeah.
All right, you're good to go. That's due by February 1st. All right.
I wanted to pay it today.
Well, if you pay it right now, go pay it and you're good to go.
All right, sir.
All right. I tell you how you holding up.
I'm holding.
All right. We have to finish our show cause. And let's get Mr. George and Matea. Matea, I've got a couple of bench warrants that I'm gonna do the arraignments for the magistrate this afternoon, so maybe we'll take care of them at that time.
Meister?
Yes. Do we have Pete Edwards? Have you seen him?
I have both of his polygons ready for you. You want me to bring them to you?
All right, let's see who's not here. Chad Bigelow of South Bend, maybe we'll call him. Gregory John Miller is here for an order to show cause on a recreational trespass. And he didn't show up today either, so we're gonna issue a bench warrant for his arrest. Gregory John William Miller. Oh, I have two?
Yes. Thanks, Judge.
All right, thank you. Well, Matea's here with me, so I might as well do them this morning. Gregory John William Miller was charged with recreational trespass on farmlands on October 29th. We sent him a plea letter. He did not appear. We sent him an arraignment date. He did not appear. We did a show cause and he did not appear. These DNR cases have minimum fines. I'm going to do a $500 bond. Cash or surety with a 48-hour hold. If anybody knows Gregory Miller, tell him he needs to get in here. He's gonna get arrested on this trespass charge. David Ronald Williams. Mr. Williams has two separate sets of facts. On July 27th, he was charged with no operator's license and failed to stop at the scene of an accident. The case is full of the defendant failing to appear. I thought there was a bench warrant in that case. He got arrested again on August 15th for operating with a high blood alcohol level. He was given today to report. I'm not going to do a show cause. I'm going to do a bench warrant in both cases. In the no license, bond is $250, and the fail to stop at the scene of an accident, bond is $250. In the high blood alcohol case, bond is $750. Cash or surety. $48-hour hold. Mr. George, I guess that completes what I've got for you. There were a couple pre-trials. I don't know if those people are here or whether they're going or what their status is, but you're off the hook.
Thank you, Jeff.
thank you. I appreciate your being here. Mr. Wiki, would you come back up? Why don't you have a seat there for a minute? Is Donna Bontrager here?
Yes.
Would you come forward, please? Let me look at this. We return to file number 23900 GC. You weren't in here, so you didn't hear anything that happened, but what happened is Scott is your son. He got sued on a debt. I believe it was on an auto loan, and he didn't show up. So a default judgment entered in the amount of $24,454.92 last July. And in an attempt to collect on this debt, Omni Credit Union did several things, including subpoenaing Scott to be here in court to answer questions. He didn't show up for the subpoena. We did an order to show cause. He didn't show up for that. So I issued a bench warrant for his arrest with a $1,000 bond. And as a rule, the bond is applied to the debt. The bond was posted on December 15th. And I'm not sure whether this was a mistake or not, because it's just supposed to be a cash bond. Doesn't really matter who the payor is, but they put your name on it. As a rule, what I would do is allow the bond to be applied to the debt minus the costs, but it's in your name. I asked Scott what your position was regarding that. Are you willing to allow that bond to be applied to the debt? And then Scott owes you the money?
If that's my only choice.
Well, it is not your only choice. I think we did it wrong. I don't think they should have put your name on it. But I'm not going to stiff the court officer. I'll talk to the court administrator about this later, but it's just supposed to be a cash bond. It's supposed to matter who posted it, but so otherwise he would just sit in jail. So this isn't like a bonding company with a surety bond. They post a surety, he shows up, everything is great. This is a civil cash only bond. But I'm gonna return bond.
Well, I would rather use that bond than him sit in jail. He's got 2 kids at home. He can't fix anything if he's in jail.
I'm not gonna put him in jail. It's a civil debt. We don't have debtor's prison. Where he got sideways is he blew off 2 court appearances. He blew off 3, but the first one, if you don't show up, you don't go to jail, you just
Right.
lose.
Right.
And so he may have had a defense to this, but he didn't present it. And so he got a judgment against him for $24,500. Now he owes that money. So we don't put people in jail for owing money.
Okay.
And you're his mother, and anybody's mother would have bonded their son out, but we probably didn't do this right. But at any rate, I'm gonna turn the bond to the poster, Donna Bontrager. Less costs of the court officer. You're gonna get some of it back. All right, Miss Salisbury, you know what you need to do if you need anything further. I'm sorry. I think we probably should have just taken that as a cash bond, but it's in her name and she doesn't consent to release it. But I am gonna take Sergeant Morse's fees out of it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I took 50 minutes of your time, which is really more than I expected to, but it beat driving down here. So I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Wiki, this debt isn't gonna go away and it's gonna continue to incur interest. So I encourage you to work with her, try to get some payment schedule made. I'd have the court officer take you out to the bond. There'll be a cost, I don't know, it'll be less than $100 for the court officer for serving this. And you'll get the balance of the money back. All right, you're free to go. All right, now let's try this South Bend dude and then we'll order up our polycoms.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 2695357 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Good morning, sir. This is Judge Middleton calling from the bench for Chad Michael Bigelow. Mr. Bigelow, you got cited here in St. Joseph County, Michigan in November for driving with a suspended license and no insurance. You failed to appear, rescheduled the matter for today, and you failed to appear again today. So I'm issuing a bench warrant for your arrest. For failing to appear, you should contact the court immediately. Have a nice day. We'll do $400 cash or surety per charge. He called, said he wanted to fight it. He was going to hire a lawyer. It was set in front of Judge Pattison. It got reset and he failed to appear.
If you're satisfied with the message, press 1.
That was really good. All right, that's all our arraignments and all our pretrials. But we have a couple of people that got arrested over the weekend who need to be seen, and we got the public defender. So let's see if we can see them now. Hello, booking Judge Middleton calling. Could I see a couple of customers? Damon Edward Hughes and Pete Patrick Edwards. All right, thanks. Bye. Matea Edwards is a no ops. And Hughes is a retail fraud. In Mr. Edwards' case, they were well aware of the warrant. They called in July and inquired about what to do. The bond is $300. And we have time, so why not? I have a 10:30 sentence and an 11 o'clock sentence. And then I'll be doing this afternoon's arraignments.
Okay.
Is Keith here today? You're in charge.
I'm the one in charge today.
Okay.
Do you know around what time you want to do the arraignments in the
I don't
afternoon?
even know what they are yet.
Okay.
Probably like 1:30.
Okay.
Although the prosecutor's shorthanded over the holiday, they got to get the paperwork to us. So that's my hope. We'll see what we get.
Okay.
I don't even know what they are.
I haven't had a chance to look at him yet.
Okay.
So.
Well, that was quick. This room, let's see whether the sound works. Oh, let me see if they put these in my queue. They did. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Damon?
You're Damon
Yes.
Hughes?
Yes.
Good morning. This is Judge Middleton. I'm here at the courthouse. Also with me is the public defender, Miss Matea Paycheck. You should be able to see her during some of this. Mr. Hughes, you got charged with retail fraud for allegedly stealing some Pokemon cards. So let's talk about this.
Okay. Oh.
It's alleged that a year ago, December 22nd of 2022, that you were at the Walmart store in Sturgis and, excuse me, Three Rivers, and you took a large amount of Pokemon cards and put them in your backpack. They also knew you from the Sturgis Walmart store. And you had apparently earlier, near that same time, stole some trading cards from Sturgis. But this is only the Three Rivers one. Now, this happened a year ago. They issued the warrant and you called about it in February of last year. We told you there was a warrant. And then we got another call that said you were in the homeless shelter in Branch County.
Yes.
And wanted to take care of this. So you turned yourself in at the jail.
Yeah,
What day did you turn yourself in?
literally yesterday, we tried going in at the Branch County Sheriff's Department. And then they denied getting me because I did not have an ID. And I currently don't have my wallet at all.
All right. Well, how do you plead to this charge that a year ago you stole some Pokemon cards from the Walmart in Three Rivers? Let me tell you what it is. It's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Do you understand?
Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
It is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Probably 1 day in jail is sufficient for this. If you plead to this charge, I'm going to let you out of jail. I'm going to give you time to pay the fine and cost. Do you understand?
I do plead, and there is more to what had happened. I was not the only one, and I can
All right,
attest.
well, let me stop you for just a minute. So are you going to plead guilty to this
Yes.
charge? Did anybody threaten you to get you to plead guilty?
No, I'm just being completely honest.
All right,
I
well,
made
that's
a
what we,
mistake, and it's not normally my character. And big part of it was me being coerced into it by a friend. And I found out that he's not truly a friend.
yeah, that's
And
probably the case.
I have a lot, like he was a big part of it, and he was the one that planned everything.
All right, well, let's talk about that in a minute. Do you understand that if you do plead to this charge, you will be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
And what would come out of all this?
Well, let's finish this part first, then we'll talk about that. If you plead guilty to this, there won't be a trial. Do you understand that?
All right.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. All you got to do is tell me, and I could appoint an attorney for you, or you could hire one of your own choosing. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court, so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, they would not hold your silence against you. And you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, I made a promise to you. I told you that if you pled guilty to this charge, I was going to let you out of jail and give you time to pay the fines and costs. Other than that, did anyone promise you anything to get you to plead to this charge?
No, I was just gonna be completely honest.
All right,
I beat myself every day over it, man. I really do.
All right, well, it ain't the crime of the century. You stole some Pokemon cards. Did you steal them to sell them or steal them to play Pokemon?
Bit of both, because I was having a hard time getting a job and I needed some way to make money. And I had I kept trying to get a job and I didn't have no luck and I needed to pay bills. And I didn't know what to do, and then my friend coerced me into it.
Well, how much can you sell these packs for?
I don't remember, but I know some of them you could get like an extra dollar or two out of it, but that was it.
All right. Where are you living right now?
Currently at the homeless shelter in Coldwater. And I don't have any job or food stamps or anything.
All right. Well, you're barred from Walmart stores. I'm going to give you 1 day in jail credit, 1 day. The law presumes that I'm not supposed to order a jail sentence, and this wasn't the crime of the century. But it is interesting to know they knew you from Sturgis for doing the same thing. And when they found this one, Sturgis said, hey, we know that guy. He stole some Pokemon cards from us too. So I'm not sure how much your friend was coercing you. You were just in the Pokemon theft business. But the fine here is zero. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee and a $50 state minimum fee, $162 restitution to TR Walmart. $287 to make that due by next June. When did you last work?
My last job was at McDonald's, and that was a month ago, give or take.
Which McDonald's?
The one in Coldwater.
All right, you're gonna need some time to get your life back in order. Where's your family?
I only have my sister in Sturgis, and she's not really much of a support system. And both my mom and dad are dead.
Who brought you over here to turn yourself in?
I went to the sheriff's department and they wanted to take me, so then I had to go back to the shelter, and then Paul, the owner of the shelter, he's had past issues in the past with the law, and he's turned over a new leaf, and he was trying to help me out. So he made calls to like the district court and all that, trying to help me out, be able to get here so I could turn myself in, because that's what I wanted to do.
Well, I appreciate that. Now, you're gonna get out here in a little bit. Have you got somewhere to go? Will someone come get you?
I'll have to call Paul. He said he'd call me. He said for me to call him, and he said he can work something out. But
all right.
If not, if he can't, then I have nowhere to go.
Well, I would then ask you to maybe go to Keystone, our homeless shelter right here in Centerville. Do you know where that is?
I think so.
Well, the sheriff can tell you. You can walk there from there. But I don't want you to be standing out there in the cold. Anyway, you can't go to Walmart, and you owe me $287 by June 30th. And that's 1 year you can't go to Walmart.
And is that like which Walmarts, or is that just the whole chain as a
All of
whole?
them. All of them.
All of them?
Yep, no Walmart for a year. And this is actually a year. You waited till after Christmas, so I guess I respect that, but you did turn yourself in. You stole some cards because you needed money, and that's not good. But I'm not gonna leave you in jail for stealing some Pokemon cards. So if you can't get a ride, you go to the homeless shelter here in Centerville, and I think they can put you up till somebody can come and get you. Do you have any questions?
Would it, the information I have in regards, like I said, my friend, he was the one that did all the planning and all of that. and forced me into it. Is there any way I can like give information about that? Because I'm no longer.
Well, this is a
friends-
Three Rivers police case. You could give that information to the Three Rivers police.
Because I know the person, he lives in Sturgis, and he was on probation during that time. Cause he always.
What was his name?
Jesus Sanchez.
And one of the problems is your word versus his. I don't know whether he's in the video or not.
I don't know, but I know he was there and he was the one that like had us drive off and everything. Because I don't drive. He is Hispanic, but I don't know if any of this helps.
Yeah, well, that's a very common name.
Sadly, yeah.
Well, I don't know, sadly, but a lot of people are named Jesus Sanchez. All right, you can share that with Three Rivers PD if you wish, but otherwise you're free to go. And if you can't get a ride, you should go to the Keystone Center here in Centerville. All right, good luck, Mr. Hughes. Stay out of Walmart's.
I hope you guys have a nice day, by the way.
All right, thank you for that. You're good to go. Like I said, we got time. Once upon a time, there was a guy who stole fishing lures. His whole occupation was stealing fishing lures and selling them at flea markets. And there was actually they're very fungible, very marketable. Some of them more expensive. He'd sell them for $5, still in the package. And that's how he made his living. And I said, how far did you go in school? He said, I never went. He never went to any school. And his thing was going fishing lures. I wouldn't recommend it, but they were quite easily saleable. I don't know what the sale market for Pokemon cards is, but do you remember? Good morning, sir. Are you Patrick Edwards?
Yes, I am.
This is Judge Middleton. I'm here at the courthouse with the public defender, Matea Paycheck. You got arrested on a bench warrant for driving with no valid operator's license. Way back in May of 2022, you got a ticket for driving with no valid operator's license.
Yeah.
That's a pretty minor charge. We get lots and lots of those. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail. and a fine of up to $500. But you didn't show up for your arraignment. And we set a show cause, you didn't show up for that. And then your friend called in July of last year and said, hey, what's the status of this? And we said, well, there's a warrant out for him. He needs to come in here and deal with this. And you didn't. In the meantime, you got arrested over the weekend. When did you get arrested?
I just got arrested yesterday evening.
Where at?
On the corner of Banker and Bulk, or near there.
Were you driving a car or are they just?
No, I was driving a car, yeah.
So did you get a new ticket?
I got a ticket for an improper plate and no proof of insurance.
All right, well, this charge is from May of 2022. It isn't the kind of thing I would have put you in jail for, but you didn't show up 2 times and called. And so it's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100 plus cost. Do you understand the charge?
Yeah, I do.
All right, how do you plead to that charge?
I guess I can only plead guilty.
Well, you can plead not guilty also, but let me tell you, if you plead guilty, I'm gonna give you a fine and a day in jail and let you out of here. But you don't have to plead guilty. You have a right to plead not guilty. And if you didn't wish to plead guilty, that's fine. But if you do, you give up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury. If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Public defender is here with us this morning if you wish to have any consultation, but you could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf. But you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you. And you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, did you get a license since then?
Yes, I have a license right now. Actually, it was it was a car that me and my roommate just bought, and I've been trying to get, I've been working at American Axle for a while now, so I just kind of, I'm supposed to go pick up a new vehicle this weekend, and I was just trying to make it get me by until then, which I guess it don't really excuse anything, but.
Well, all you had to do is come in here and we could have taken care of this. Now, this is going to go on your driving record. You understand?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know whether the prosecutor would. What shift do you work?
I work second shift.
So you haven't missed a day's work yet?
No, I haven't. Actually, my attendance is pretty good.
Yeah, the vehicle was also unplated, but you had the title in your hand. Judge,
from the last incident.
Yeah. Now, Judge Pattison issued a bench warrant with $1,000 bond. He wasn't very happy. And then let's take a look at your driving record. Yeah, you had a lot of baggage on here and a lot of failures to appear. I don't know what this is gonna do to your license. It could suspend it for 90 to 180 days. But it predates your getting your license, so it may not affect it, but does that affect your decision to enter a plea here today?
No.
All right. You made this way harder than it had to be.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, I've been here and there. I finally started getting my act together. I'm pretty much stable now.
All right, well, your license is gonna be valid if and until the SOS sends you something, but you owe me $200. $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee. That's due by February 2nd of 2024, a little more than 30 days from now. So you're gonna get out of jail and go to work. Probably didn't get much sleep last night.
I got what I had. I got.
And then you got these new tickets for doing the same thing, driving out with unregistered car and no insurance. So
Yeah, stupid.
That's the word for it. All right, you're gonna get out of jail. Hopefully somebody come pick you up. You owe me $200 by February 2nd.
You got it.
All right, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
He must be an Elvis fan. All right, Matea, that's all I got for now. I got some stuff at 10:30 and then we'll see what kind of bench warrant or warrant we got for this afternoon. I'm not even sure what it is at this point.
Okay,
All right, thanks.
no problem.
That took us an hour and 40 minutes. All right, that finishes that. We'll be back a couple of matters at 10:30 and 11. And I'm going to see what else has come in on my desk in the email. Again, thank you for the cards and the clever gift, and we will be in recess.